Hi, this is Bill Flaherty again. In this video, we're going to go over the elements of the offensive system. All of our formations, as everybody does, has a right and left version. However, based on our personnel, which you'll see when we get into the offensive line videos, I have at times flipped my offensive lineman to the formation call because I may have had one or two linemen that were much superior to the others, and I was capable of flipping the lineman from one side to the other on each play to not only create a physical mismatch for ourselves, but also potentially counter a physical mismatch on the other team. But you may or may not do that from year to year based on your personnel, and we'll talk about that when we get to the offensive line videos. Numbering wise, all the run and pass plays are called using numbers and names, and but they all can be expressed in 6 words or less, and generally much less than that. The holes are numbered 0 through 8 to the right side, 1 through 9 to the left, which is pretty typical. Eligible ball carriers are identified as quarterback would be 1, tailback 2, fullback H-back 3, tight end 4, split end 7, flanker 8. And from all the formations, we're able to put the flanker, tailback, or fullback in motion. Any trick plays will be put in as needed. As you'll see as we go through this, my idea is to create flexible formations and plays so that we can do anything we want simply so our players are capable of attacking the other team weaknesses. The parts of the offense we have, there's 6 basic concepts in the running game, and you may or may not use all or many of these year to year based on the talent of your players. There was one year I had a quarterback that was an excellent thrower, but was not very athletic. So we weren't going to run option with him, obviously. And then you may have other backs that are not very big, but have a lot of speed, where you're not going to run them up inside very often. They'll be more geared towards zone play. So again, you'll use the parts of this that fit your personnel, which is always what you should be doing anyway. But essentially, we have a veer, speed option portion, a sweep and quick pitch portion, blast or wham, zone both inside and outside, counter or reverse, and bootleg. In the passing game, we have 6 elements to that as well, and all of these are pretty standard. Quick is your 3-step game. Combination is just what it says. Mirrors is where all the receivers run the same route. Play action is self-explanatory. Screens and draw are also pretty obvious. This next screen is going to be the most radical to you of anything that we're doing. In all the systems I was in the past, we always used words for formations and to put people in certain positions. And after a while, the players would have to remember what that word means and where they're to be. And the problem comes when a starter may be out of the game and a backup is in. He obviously hasn't played as much. So all of a sudden, he may not know exactly what you want him to do in that situation where he has to memorize what the words mean. And therefore, you have an opportunity for errors. So what I've come up with, and what I would be using myself if I were doing this today, is using a numbering system where it's a 4-digit number is the formation on each play. And what that does is it creates information for each position where they know exactly where they're supposed to be, and they don't have to memorize anything. So if a formation has a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8 as the first digit, that means the strength of the formation is to the right, which is where the tight end would be. And if you have a strong and quick side of your offensive line, it would put the strong side people to that area as well. It also means that the X is away from that. If the strong side is to the left, then it would be a 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9 as the first digit of the formation. Then for the Z receiver, in order for him to know exactly where you want him to be, the second number is for him, and it's a 2, 4, 6, or 8 is to the right of the formation, and 3, 5, 7, or 9 is to the left. The third number of the formation is for the fullback, and a 0 tells him to be lined 3 yards directly behind the quarterback. And if he's to be the right of the center, then he would have a 2 or 4 as the number in the third digit position. Or a 3 and 5 would tell him to be to the left of the center on that particular play, and where exactly to be. And then the fourth number tells the tailback where to be, being a 0 basically creates an I formation for him as the fourth digit. If the fourth digit is a 2, 4, 6, or 8, he would be to the right of the center at a particular position, and a 3, 5, 7, or 9 would put him to the left of the center at a particular position. With the tight ends, if we wanted them to trade sides, then we would just use the word jump for that. Motions are going to be, again, pretty self-explanatory as to who they're to or who they're for, and then what they're to do. So I use tick, tock, and tap for the tailback because the words all start with a T. And tick tells him he's to go in motion toward the center. Tock tells him to go in motion away from the center. And tap is tailback motion behind the quarterback. The fullback, his motions begin with an F, and then he knows those exactly belong to him. And fin tells him to go in toward the center, fog, out, away from the center. And fiddle is a waggle where he would come in motion toward the center and then go back where he came from. And then for the Z, his words begin with a Z, as you can imagine. And it's a zip is a motion in, zoom is motion out, and zap is arc motion behind the quarterback. In the running plays, the primary ball carrier carries the number 1 for the quarterback, 2 for the tailback, 3 for the fullback, 4 for the tight end, 7 for the X, and 8 for the Z. Our pass plays, when we're running our combination routes, typically the letter R or the word rip indicate that the primary receivers are on the right side. L or Liz would mean the primary receivers are on the left side. Mirror routes, all the receivers are running the same route. And we use numbered routes from a tree, which you'll see later on, but that tells them exactly what they're to do. In the quick game, the outside receivers, if you're calling for them to be doing a slant and the man is lined up on him and inside, he will now go for a go or 9 route to take advantage of him being up on him. If he's sitting off of him 7 or 8 yards, then he would run the slant instead of a go in the event that you had called for a 9 route in your play. It's an adjustment that's easy enough that we can take advantage of the DB, no matter what he does, and put ourselves in a position to be successful. Personnel packages are basically the same as everybody else comes up with. The difference being on the offensive call sheet, if a play is going to have 22 personnel, the word will be in blue. Or if it's a 31 personnel, it'll be in red, or it'll be in purple for 32. All the standard plays, which is 21, which is my basic personnel, will be black lettering. But this way on the call sheet, the coach knows exactly what personnel group should be in the game for that play. Additionally, if we want the quarterback to be in pistol, then there will be a green dot to the side of it that again tells the coach to let them know to be in pistol versus our standard position, which is under center. And that's it at this point for this portion of the offense. This gives you some background. I'll let you digest the numbering of formations to come to grips with that. I'm sure that's going to be the first thing that's going to set you back. But think about it. And you'll see when I start the next videos where we go through the plays and the positioning of people, you'll see how flexible it is and how consistent, and also how it really helps the players be exactly where you want them so that you don't have mental errors. In my opinion, games are many times lost and not won. And they're lost because of turnovers, penalties, and mental errors. So to the degree that you can eliminate confusion by your players, you can at least eliminate one of those immediately. So think about it, don't discount it, and then listen to the next videos, and that will take you through how it looks when you do that. I appreciate it. I wish you all the luck in the world. And if you want to communicate with me, please send me an email at footballcoachesforum@gmail.com. Thank you again.